Hello everybody, it's Non-Scene News here, and today we've got a lot of broken days today. So the first news we're actually going to be starting off today is actually from the States, so the United States, where we've gotten some very interesting statements from Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, from the territorial integrity of Greenland and the Panama Canal, as well as Canada. So in a conference, Donald Trump stated that he is ready to use force, military force, to gain control over Greenland and the Panama Canal. So, a journalist asked him whether he was prepared to promise to refrain from using military force or economic tariffs to gain control over the island of Greenland or the Panama Canal. And the U.S. president-elect said he was not. So, Donald Trump is not taken out military force out of the question when talking about Greenland and Panama Canal potentially turning into the 51st and the 52nd state of America. Also, Donald Trump has been posting maps of the US and Canada merging into one big country. So you can see here also in your bottom left corner, Donald Trump, as first it started off as a joke, is now turning into a huge political discussion, and both Americans and people around the world are discussing if Canada joins the United States. So, as you can see here, Donald Trump is posting a lot of images on X of obviously Canada merging into America as one big country. And if this does happen, that means plus America and Canada into one big country, it would be even bigger than the Russian Federation, even including its territory gains in Ukraine. So, very big news. And it seems that most officials in Canada are really negative to this idea of the United States joining, Canada joining the United States. So there was a Fox News, actually, I'll let you watch this. So there was a Fox News clip where a Canadian official went onto Fox News, where he was interviewed by an American guest, and he was asked about the question of Canada joining the United States. So it's a 30-second clip, so just give it a watch.
I get it. You say that Americans don't have a problem with Canadians, and we don't. But it seems like you have a problem with us. Because if I were a citizen of another country and I was a neighbor of the United States, I would consider it a privilege to be taken over by the United States of America. That's what everybody else in the world wants. American citizenship. For some reason, that's repellent to you Canadians. And I find that personally offensive, Premier.
So, very interesting clip there, and we've also gotten some news today that the leader of Canada's opposition of the Conservative Party has promised that if he wins the elections, he will prevent the country from joining the United States and ensure the security of its borders, including the Arctic. We've also got news that Justin Trudeau stated that Canada will never become the 51st state of the United States. So, if you can see, there's a huge amount of negativity coming from the Canadian officials, the people in charge of Canada, and regarding Canada joining as the 51st state of America. Even Justin Trudeau posted on X where he said that there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would be a part of the United States. Workers and communities in both of our countries benefit from each other's biggest trading and security partners. And Elon Musk stated that, "Girl, you're not the governor of Canada anymore, so it doesn't matter what you say." So, interesting statements come from Donald Trump. We've also got news today that Donald Trump will be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So this whole kind of part of the sea here, region of the sea here, called the Gulf of Mexico, will now be called the Gulf of America, from obviously this doesn't mean other countries will have to recognize this as the Gulf of America being the name of Gulf of America. So Donald Trump will be changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Interesting news. And I've also done a bit more research on Greenland, and I found out that Greenland is a pretty rich island full of various resources, minerals, rare metals, and this is probably one of the reasons why Donald Trump wants the island. So, if you can see here in the bottom left corner, here's like a picture where it actually displays where the location of the minerals resources are located in Greenland. So you can see here there's a lot of iron, gold, uranium, zinc, copper, and other various mineral resources that are actually located in Greenland itself. So this will probably be one of the reasons why Donald Trump would buy Greenland, or according to latest statements, potentially invade it with military force, which I doubt will actually happen. But very interesting news, and he's also said that it would be a good foothold to gain security from the United States and actually defend Russia off in the Arctic region as well. And we've also gotten the reactions of Western leaders' reaction to the potential Greenland state of America. So France and Germany actually warned Donald Trump against threatening the sovereign borders of Greenland. The Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz, stated that the borders must not be moved by force. This principle applies to every country, whether in the east or the west. In talks with our European partners, there is an uneasiness regarding the recent statements from the US President Donald Trump. It is clear we must stand together. So it seems that Donald Trump is kind of gaining a coalition in Europe right now regarding his latest statements of military force of Greenland and the Panama Canal. But that's all the news I've gotten from that. We've also got news of some very sad news coming from Los Angeles, where huge wildfires are gaining ground on Los Angeles. So all I know about this huge Los Angeles fire that's been happening here is that a huge fire, if you can see here in your bottom left corner, has spread throughout Los Angeles, and I'm pretty sure it started near here, near the upper areas here, where the huge fire begun in LA. But the total area of the fires in Los Angeles County has reached nearly 11,000 hectares, according to data from the California Fire Service. Over 175,000 electricity consumers in the country are without power. The fire area continues to experience low humidity, accompanied by strong gusts of winds. As noted by CNN, the number of fires have increased to 6. According to the latest reports, 5 people have sadly died due to the fires that have been happening in Los Angeles. Biden has declared a state of large-scale natural disasters in California. According to the forecasts from the ACCU weather, the damage and the economic loss from the fires will range from $52 to $57 billion. And Trump has called for the resignation of the state governor of Gavin Newsom, of holding him responsible for the situation. If you can see this video here, we can actually see the Hollywood Hills are now on fire, where we can actually see the Hollywood sign actively potentially in the future burning to the ground. So very sad news coming from LA. We've got some news coming from Venezuela today, that Venezuela breaks off all relations with Paraguay. This comes as Paraguay doesn't actually recognize the leader of Venezuela, I believe Nicolas Maduro. So obviously this comes as people think Nicolas Maduro rigged the election in Venezuela, causing a lot of people not a lot of nations in South America not actually recognizing him as the president of Venezuela. Therefore, I'm just going to give him the lead of Venezuela because he's got the power. So Venezuela breaks off all relations with Paraguay, and Paraguay obviously does the same. We've also got some news today that Poland shuts down its consulate in St. Petersburg on Russian order. So Poland has announced on Wednesday that it shut down its consulate in the Russian city of St. Petersburg after Russia ordered the closure of the consulate to move. So Russia has ordered the closure in December after Poland said in October that it was actually closing Russia's consulate in the Polish city of Poznań, accusing Russia of sabotage attempting against Poland and its allies. So Poland's consulate in St. Petersburg is now gone. It's been removed. We've also got some news today coming from Belarus. that Belarus actually launches a military exercise near the Ukrainian border. So Belarus will conduct a military exercise near the Ukrainian border from January the 8th to January the 31st. The Belarusian Defense Ministry announced on January the 8th that the exercise will include receiving and fully equipping reservists from the territorial forces using local mobilization resources, refresher training for territorial force commanders on managing their units, and we've also got news that the Belarus will be preparing reservists for assigned tasks, including joint operations with engineering units of the armed forces. We've also gotten some. We've only got one news coming from Ukraine today that Rheinmetall, one of Germany's military production companies, has confirmed the start of production and deliveries of the LYNX IFVs, so infantry fighting vehicles, for the Ukrainian armed forces. So the first infantry fighting vehicle was already delivered to Ukraine at the end of 2024. So you can see this brand new German infantry fighting vehicle. Germany has announced the production of this vehicle, and it's apparently at least one has already been sent to Ukraine. We've also got news today coming from Transnistria. So, we've got news that the breakaway province of Transnistria warns of electricity collapse. The breakaway Moldovan region of Transnistria could face a complete electricity blackout after Russia's and Ukrainians' deal expired on the 1st of January to cut gas supplies through Ukraine that feeds Moldova, well, Transnistria and Hungary and Slovakia and many other Central Europes with Russian gas, causing Transnistria to have blackouts and potential electricity collapses. So the tiny breakaway republic bordering Ukraine has been unable to provide heating and hot water to its residents since January the 1st, since the Russian gas event took place. So very interesting news is taking part in Transnistria. And there's been some rumours that Transnistria will be forced to return back into Moldova due to it not surviving on its own and electricity shortages. So this is just news that I've been reading, so take it with a grain of salt. We've also got some news today coming from the Baltic Sea, that on December the 30th, 2024, NATO allies met at the alliance headquarters to discuss the security of critical infrastructure in the Baltic Sea, following the recent damages to the undersea cables connecting Estonia and Finland on 25 December, the UK Defence Journal reported. So, the NATO will be boosting its military presence in the Baltic Sea. Therefore, NATO is sending an increased amount of naval presence into the Baltic Sea. So in the near future, we can expect a lot of NATO ships entering the Baltic Sea. So I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got some news coming from Switzerland that the Swiss president offers to mediate Ukraine peace. The new president of Switzerland said that she told Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, that Switzerland was ready to act as the mediator in the Ukraine settlement process. We've also got news coming from France, coming from Jean-Marie Le Pen, one of the founders and leaders of the right-wing far-right National Front Party in France from 1972 to 2011, has died at the age of 96. So the founders of the right-wing National Party of France has died at the age of 96. His daughter is Marine Le Pen, current leader of the National Front and the favourite to become the next president of France. We've also got some news coming from the United Kingdom today that the UK hospitals sound the alarm as flu cases rise. So hospitals across the United Kingdom are overwhelmed by rising flu and other infections, and the wait times are reaching up to 50 hours. The Times reported, citing National Health Services officials from the UK, 8 major hospitals in the United Kingdom have declared critical situations due to the high demand caused by the seasonal flu pressure. We've also got news today that up to 23% of the UK citizens would like to see the leader of the British right-wing populist party Reform UK, Nigel Farage, succeed the Prime Minister Keir Starmer, a poll conducted by More in Common for the LBC podcaster revealed. So at the same time, 45% of those who surveyed said that they were undecided about who they would prefer as the alternative to Starmer, according to the polls. Just last week, if you remember, the US billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk urged Britons to vote for the right-wing populist party Reform UK, saying that it was the only last hope for the United Kingdom. Musk also said that the party should also replace its leader, Nigel Farage. That is the leader of the Reform Party. So, big news coming from the United Kingdom. We've also got some news coming from, I believe, Chad today. Then we've got news that gunfire has been heard near Chad's presidential palace. So gunfire erupted on Wednesday evening near the presidential palace in the capital of Chad. So according to the AFP, citing as a security source, armed men actually launched an attack on the interior of the presidential compound. So reports suggest that the attempt assault, Reports suggest that the attempted assault may have been carried out by the Boko Haram militants targeting the palace. The video, which I'm not actually allowed to show you on YouTube, which you can see in the link of description in the non-seen news telegram. The video shows the attackers being neutralized by the army of Chad during the incident. So the security forces have established control in the area around the presidential palace. So the president of Chad is safe, and the security and the army dealt with this huge arms militants that decided to storm the palace of the presidential palace of Chad. We've also got news today coming from Turkey. That's Turkey wants the is working on intermediate range ballistic missiles. So according to the coming from the Turkish President Erdogan, he stated that we have decided to both strengthen our stock of missiles with range exceeding 800 kilometers and accelerate our development programs for missiles with range of 2,000 kilometers. Turkey is striving for the superpower status. So Turkey is now actively working on its intermediate range ballistic missiles. We've also got news today that Turkey does not rule out possible military operations against Kurdish armed forces in Syria, stated the Turkish foreign minister. The Turkish armed forces have already been put on combat alert in connection with a possible operation in Syria against the militants of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, so the PKK. The pro-government newspaper Turkey writes, citing military sources. So there's been some rumors, some statements coming from Turkey that it might do a collaboration, a joint military offensive with the HDS rebels. Was that right? HDS rebel group, yeah, with Turkey to launch an offensive on the Kurdish positions in Syria. So, very big news coming from there. We've also got news coming from Armenia today that the government of Armenia has supported the initiative to begin process of joining the European Union. So the proposal will be discussed in Parliament. So the Armenian president said that the decision of the country's accession to the European Union can only be made through a national referendum. He announced this at the government meeting. So Armenia is now actively pursuing European, EU membership now. So I'll keep you updated on its journey to the European Union. We've also got some news today coming from Syria. That's the Syrian leader, the HDS rebel leader, and now the leader of Syria, has visited the newly reopened Damascus International Airport. So the International Airport of Damascus is now operational. I'm pretty sure we discussed this in the previous video yesterday. So the Damascus International Airport is now ready, and it's now up. We've also got news that these Syrian forces have actually published what remains of the former Syrian Air Force. So we can see these videos here. We've got on videos that show the latest, what remains of the Syrian Air Force that went through the Israeli airstrikes on military airfields in Syria, along with the HTS rebel group takeover of Syria. So if we can see here, we can only see a couple, maybe a couple dozens of Syria's last jets. These jets only consist of MiG, third generation fighter jets of the MiG-23, along with the Su-22 jets. So Syria doesn't have much of an air force anymore, it seems, according to this latest video. We've also got news today that the Israeli army continues to advance in southern Syria. So we've gotten videos of the Israeli tanks reportedly advancing further into Israel. And if I just let me just remind you that according to the distances in northern Syria, the Israeli forces are only 20 kilometers away from the capital city of Syria, Damascus. The next news today is coming from Iran, where Iran is planning to relocate the capital from Tehran to Makran. This was according to the Iranian spokeswoman. So I don't know why Iran is potentially doing this. Apparently, this is very unpopular in Iran, that Iran might be actually moving its capital city to this city here. What was it called again? Sorry, it was called Makram. So maybe this is to boost investment. I don't know, but I'll just tell you that's all the news I've actually gotten from that. So Iran is potentially going to relocate its capital. We've also got some news today coming from this exact area in Pakistan, that the Pakistani Air Force trainer jet has crashed in this exact area. So a Pakistan Air Force K-8P trainer jet, a Chinese-made Hundu JL-8, crashed near the runway wall in the airport here. So the crash caused a fire to break out within the aircraft, with initial unconfirmed reports suggesting that the pilot on board may have lost their life. So we've got news that a trainer aircraft jet of the Pakistani Air Force has crashed in that exact airport here, in this region right here. And the next news we've gotten today is coming from North Korea. We've got news that Kim Jong-un has banned hot dogs and divorce in North Korea, according to the Daily Mail. So North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has reportedly banned hot dogs, calling them too Western. So the cooking the dish is now considered treason, punishable by 6 months in labor camps. So if you were to cook a hot dog in North Korea, you'd be serving 6 months of labor camps for eating a hot dog. So there you go. We've also got news that Kim Jong-un has also ordered divorcing couples to be sent to labor camps to pay for their crimes. So I'm not even lying. You can search this up. We've also got news today that the South Korean court has yet again issued an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk-yeol, the impeached president that declared martial law in South Korea, according to the Anti-Corruption Investigation Office for Senior Officials. So the South Korean authorities are they've tried to arrest the previous South Korean president, the impeached South Korean president, but his bodyguards and protests are always getting in the way of his arrest, causing the South Korean court to yet again issue an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk-yeol, and I'll keep you updated on that. We've also got news that for the first time in nearly a decade, South Korea saw its birth rate rise. So South Korea's registered births have finally flipped the script on 8 years of decline, surging by 3.1% in 2024. So there you go, progress. So that's all the news I've actually gotten for you today. I am non-seeing news. I'll try and provide you news that medias around the world do not show you. I do these videos hopefully daily, and please, please, please consider subscribing and liking. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.